Tonight, we are tracking a series of major developments from a devastating natural disaster in Asia to raising nuclear fears in Ukraine and high-stakes diplomacy in Middle East. And later, we'll go in depth on the US government shutdown. What's behind the political gridlock in Washington? How it affects millions of Americans, and why this one could have lasting consequences far beyond Capitol Hill. Welcome to World in Focus, and here are the top headlines of the day. We begin in the Philippines, where a powerful earthquake has left a trail of destruction and tragedy. A 6.9 magnitude quake struck the central part of the country late Tuesday night, killing at least 60 people and causing widespread damage to homes, roads, and vital infrastructure. The shallow quake just hit west of Palampon, near the city of Bogo in Cebu province around 10 p.m. local time. Rescue operations are underway across several towns, with emergency crews racing against time to reach those trapped under rubble. The Philippines, part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, is no stranger to seismic activity, but officials say this is one of the strongest quakes to hit the region in 2 years. In Europe, Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky has issued a stark warning over the safety of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, calling the situation critical. The facility, the largest of its kind in Europe, has now gone 7 days without power, the longest outage since Russia's full-scale invasion began in 2022. Emergency diesel generators are keeping critical systems online, but one has already failed, raising fears of potential nuclear accident if power is not restored soon. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has apologized to Qatar following a deadly strike in Doha earlier this month. The attack killed 5 Hamas officials and a Qatari security officer, escalating tensions between the two countries. In a three-way call with Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman and US President Donald Trump, Netanyahu expressed regret and assured Doha that Israel has no plans to launch further attacks on Qatari soil, despite previous vows to pursue Hamas wherever they are. And now to our deep dive and a political standoff with far-reaching consequences. The US federal government has officially shut down after lawmakers failed to reach a deal before September 30 deadline. The impasse stems from deep partisan divisions over spending priorities, with Republicans pushing for a short-term funding bill focused on security spending, with Democrats insisting on continued healthcare subsidies. The shutdown, the first under Trump's second term, could unfold very differently from those in the past. The White House and the Office of the Management and Budget have hinted they might use the crisis to eliminate federal programs they deem unnecessarily and cut government jobs on a permanent basis. At its core, a government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass funding bills for federal agencies. Without that money, non-essential services are forced to close, while essential operations such as military defense, law enforcement, and air traffic control continue, often without pay. This means nearly 900,000 federal workers could be furloughed without pay, while many others will continue working unpaid until a deal is reached. Contractors who don't receive back pay are among the hardest hit, and for everyday Americans, the ripple effects are immediate. Passport services slow, immigration hearings are delayed, some business loans are halted, and national parks operate without staff. Shutdowns don't just disrupt government operations, they also hurt the economy. The 2018-2019 shutdown, the longest in US history, wiped out $3 billion in economic activity that was never recovered. Consumer confidence dips, markets become volatile, and growth slows. This time, the stakes are even higher. The US Travel Association warns that the shutdown could cost $1 billion per week in lost travel spending. Crucial data releases, such as the monthly job reports, could also be delayed, complicating economic forecasting and policy decisions. The political consequences may be just as significant. Trump's administration appears determined to leverage the shutdown as a tool for reshaping the federal workforce, potentially transforming a temporary budget crisis into a broader effect to shrink government. Internationally, prolonged political gridlock could also damage US credibility, raising questions about America's reliability as a global partner. That's all in World in Focus for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more.